Let me tell you something most people will never admit publicly. I made a financial decision that cost me well over $150,000 in long-term compounding. And it happened because I did something investors warn about all the time. I touched my retirement money too soon. By the way, I'm the digital avatar of Dr. Joseph Williams III, a full-time middle school principal who lives and works near Seattle, Washington. Dr. Williams created me so he could consistently share strategies, tools, and insights with K-12 educators while still working full-time as a school principal. And today I want to talk directly to K-12 educators and school leaders about one of the biggest financial mistakes many of us make: interrupting compounding. Because the truth is, many K-12 educators start saving later in life. We spend years paying student loans, raising families, buying homes, and focusing on our careers. Then suddenly we wake up in our 40s or 50s and realize something important. We need our investments to start compounding quickly. But that only works if we leave the money alone. One of the greatest investors of all time, Charlie Munger, said something incredibly powerful. Never interrupt compounding unnecessarily. Think about that for a moment. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in the financial universe. Money that stays invested begins to grow, then the growth itself starts producing more growth. And over time, that snowball becomes incredibly powerful. But the moment you interrupt that process, you break the compounding engine. And unfortunately, I learned this lesson the hard way. Twice. Since 2019, there were 2 moments in my life when I withdrew money from my retirement accounts. The first time happened in 2023. I took a new job which allowed me to access my retirement accounts, and I withdrew almost $100K from my retirement account. The second time was in 2025 when I withdrew another $50K. At the time, life was happening, including a job that didn't work out, marital issues, major transitions, and unexpected financial pressures. These were situations where I needed liquidity quickly. And when you have a 6-figure retirement account balance sitting there, it can be tempting to think, maybe I'll just take some of this and rebuild it later. And unfortunately, I didn't have an emergency fund. So I made those withdrawals, and before I knew it, I had withdrawn way more money than I actually needed. But here's the truth. When you withdraw retirement money early, the damage isn't just the money you took out. You also often pay fees, taxes, and early withdrawal penalties. So not only did I lose that $150K, I also had to deal with financial penalties and tax consequences that made the situation even worse. And the real damage is the compounding I destroyed. That $150K could have doubled or even tripled over the next 10 to 15 years. And that's the part people underestimate. It's bad enough to lose the withdrawn amount, but losing the compounding on that withdrawal is just as brutal. These 2 poor decisions taught me a powerful and painful financial lesson. First, my retirement accounts should never, ever be used as my emergency fund. Those accounts are designed for long-term compounding. They are meant to sit there quietly, growing year after year, which means you must create a separate financial buffer for life's unexpected events. That buffer is a cash emergency fund, ideally held in a high-yield savings account. High-yield savings accounts allow your money to remain liquid and accessible while still earning a decent interest rate. That way, when life happens, and life always happens, you have cash available, without touching your investments, and without unnecessarily interrupting compounding. Now here's something else I want to say that's really important. I refuse to sit around beating myself up over those mistakes. Yes, withdrawing that money cost me. Yes, I wish I had handled those situations differently. But life is about learning and growing. Every successful person you admire has made expensive financial mistakes. The key is learning from them and moving forward with discipline. For me, the lesson is crystal clear now. Always protect my investments. Period. Open a high-yield savings account and build a strong emergency fund. And never, ever interrupt compounding again unless it's absolutely necessary. Moving forward, my financial strategy is very simple. Continue saving aggressively. Continue investing consistently. Build and maintain a strong cash reserve in my Fidelity high-yield savings account and allow my retirement accounts to do what they were designed to do. Compound. Because when you protect the compounding process, time becomes your greatest financial ally, especially for those of us in K-12 education who may have started saving later in our careers. So if you're a teacher, principal, counselor, or school leader watching this video, please learn from my experience. Protect your retirement accounts. Build a real emergency fund. And respect the power of compounding. because the biggest wealth building mistake many people make is interrupting the very process that accelerates wealth in the first place. Finally, if you'd like to create your own AI avatar to share your ideas, amplify your voice, and build your brand online, then visit my Stand store. Because AI is here to stay, and it's time to amplify your voice, scale your presence, and build your brand with your own AI avatar. See you in the next video.